Hello, welcome to day 2 of Handpan. For this video, remember that you can speed up the video here on YouTube or slow down depending on how much of a challenge you want. We're just going to have a look at some scales exercises and see if we can go a little bit deeper with how we think about these otherwise really quite simple exercises. So I invite you to follow along with me, and to start with, we're just going to play up and down the scale as we normally would, in whatever way feels natural. So. And I invite you to try and get the cleanest tone that you can out of this, with minimal sound, and every strike being the same dynamic, the same volume. Now we're going to play just with our thumbs all the way up, thinking about how you rotate the wrist in order to get the power. Relaxing all of the other fingers. Notice that my fingers are slightly curved because they're relaxed. Avoiding any brush sounds, so really bouncing away from the metal straight away. Okay, let's play with our pointer finger now and explore how we need to change the way our arms move, the way our wrists move, in order to get the same quality of sound. So now my wrists are moving in an up and down motion instead of a rotation. And my fingers are lifting above my other fingers just a little bit. Meanwhile, the rest of my hand is relaxed. Middle finger. Getting as clean a tone as possible. Ready for the ring finger. So now you have to rotate a little bit to get that power. Up and down doesn't work anymore. Feel how that feels different. Try and match the power of your middle finger and the control. Spend some extra time here because it is a bit more tricky. Pinky. Sound quality is different for me. I need to work on my pinky some more. See how you can use your hand to give your pinky more power, while remembering to relax the other fingers. Alright, let's bring it back to the ring finger. When you're practicing these, I want you to check in with your shoulders, check in with your feet. How is your body feeling? How relaxed are you? Are the other fingers that aren't playing relaxed? Are your wrists nice and high but loose above the instrument? Are your elbows down, your shoulders down? So much to think about to make sure that you're as relaxed as possible to get the most out of this as possible and be able to play for as long as possible. So that's simple scales exercises. And this is just really nice. It's just a nice way to warm up when you haven't played the instrument yet today. So now let's have a look at some one-handed scales. And we're going to start with the thumb. Again, getting a nice pure tone. Now this time, when we switch fingers, I'm going not going to do it just yet. I invite you to curve your finger round so you can get a nice padded sound. And we're actually going to break the rules a little bit. And we're going to aim for the dimple of each note. We're going to strike in the center of each note so that we can feel how warm that feels when you do that. Let's try that. So I'm curving my finger. Whoops, I missed. And I'm aiming for the middle of each note. So it's really bassy and warm. Let's try with our middle finger. Relax the shoulder. Relax the other fingers. Breathe. Let's move on to the ring finger. A bit more tricky to control. So feel how you have to adapt your hand to get that same sound. Pinky. Whew. A little bit more tricky. I missed. Let's do that again. Whee. Last time. Nice. So you might be thinking, when am I ever going to use my pinky finger when I'm playing the handpan? Well, A, you might be surprised, and B, actually the purpose of this exercise really is to just engage all of the muscles and tendons in the hand, get everything warmed up. Also, you're practicing this movement across the instrument as well. It's going to give you more range and control when you start to play around with melodies. So it's generally just a really good warm-up and a really good strengthener. The more that you do this, the more you'll find that you have much better fine motor skills and control over each of these fingers so that you can play whatever you want to play as you progress. So it is really important to engage all of these fingers because you might use them, and actually if you do have control over them, it's going to help regardless of which finger you're using. It just gives you more strength and dexterity in your hand. So let's do all of that again with the left. So first we have thumbs. And for the thumbs, I'm just aiming, as usual, for that part of the note where it starts to curve into the dimple, right? Just on the edge of the inside. For this round, I also encourage you to think about your core here, your stomach, and your spine. So keeping your spine nice and straight, you're not shifting the shoulders like this, you're keeping everything loose. And in order to get that arm across, if you are making movement here at the torso, it's coming from your center here. Alright, so let's try with a pointer. Again, aiming for the middle of the note on this occasion. Getting that nice warm sound. So the reason why I'm encouraging you to curve the finger and strike the center of the note is not necessarily because this is how you should play, but because there are a ton of different ways that you can play. And it doesn't just have to be with a flat finger, striking with this part of the finger. at this part of the note. You know, we can explore lots of different ways that we can do this to get different sounds out of each note. There's so much going on. You've got the harmonics on each note, which we'll explore later this month. So depending on which part you strike, you have slightly different tones happening. You also have the warmer center of the note as opposed to the colder edge of the note. And you've also got different ways that you can use your fingers, right? You can knock, you can use your fingernails, maybe different parts of your knuckles. You can use different parts of your finger, more than one finger. You can dampen, you can mute as you strike. There's so much that you can do. So what I encourage you to do is practice these scales exercises, as simple as they are, but replace, you know, a regular strike with some other tonal strike, something else that changes the quality of the sound, so that you're practicing moving and also having the control of using your fingers in different ways and getting the sound out of each note that you want to achieve, while keeping that also at the same kind of level and dynamic across the instrument. So when people say practice your scales, you know, always take it a step further and think about going a little bit deeper with it and alternating the sound and seeing how you can make it more interesting for yourself. Of course, you can also play doubles. You can play triples. You could do that split hand technique, or like this drumstick technique, as Dan McQueen calls it. However you want to practice, doubles with both hands, which is always really fun. So many different ways that you can enjoy scales practice. So I really encourage you to keep this in your practice, regardless of whether you're a beginner or intermediate player. It's a really good warm-up. It's also just really good to come back to those basics and explore what more there is that you haven't discovered yet. So enjoy those, and I will see you tomorrow.